Welcome everybody to the Onward VR Master League Season 13, Week 12. Got them mixed up. Venue Showcase. My name is Nightfire with 2 E's. I am your sole conductor in today's journey through a silver battle between Hydra versus the Misfits. 2 teams right in the center of the regular season ladder over on the NA side of things, and they are going to be battling it out here this afternoon against each other. Exciting stuff to tune in and watch. A team that's both been created in Season 12 and a team created in Season 13. And so again, we're getting kind of a perspective onto some players that have recently joined into the VRML. So if you are tuning in and maybe you are fresh to the VR Master League, welcome in. This is Onward, is a 5 versus 5 military simulator. The objective is it's standard search and destroy style gameplay where the attacking team, the blue team, the Marsoc team attacks the objective. The defending team, the Volk team, the orange team defends the objective. The attacking team is trying to get within a certain radius of the objective to punch in a 7-digit code to secure themselves 2 points. Otherwise, if you eliminate your opposing team, the opposing team, then you get yourself 1 point. First to 4. Best of 3 maps, and so beneath me you see a bunch of TBDs. This is the ban pick phase. Each team gets to ban a map in the pre-selected map pool at the start of the season. And so these teams have both banned away maps, both Abandoned and Subway have been banned off that map pool. Map number 1 will be taking us into Quarantine. And for those not in the know, this ban phase can be pretty strategical. Well, teams will go onto the vrml.com/onward website and pick up all the stats of their opposing team. They'll see what their opposing team is good at and bad at, and then oftentimes ban into a strength or a weakness, meaning that they either ban a strength of their teammate, of their opposing team, or a weakness of themselves, so they don't have to play a map that they're not skilled at. And so that's what this ban phase is really all about behind the scenes. But for us, it means that we don't have Abandon, which is a long-range map, and we don't have Subway, which is a close-range map. Still leaves the map pool pretty open in terms of both mid-range, long-range, and close-quarters options to be played out, and Quarantine is one of those mid-range options. And so we should be getting into the action soon enough. Taking a look at the active rosters here. We are just waiting on one more for the Misfits, but over on Hydra, we have AOK Hero, Madara 44, Zinru Z Shui, Kush Capone, and Takyo. Not gonna be saying that full name today, I'll tell you that. that would be a heck of a call out. Over on the Misfits, we do have 5. We have Robbie, Big Mac Tree Man, Pogger Man, Panda, and Chaos Wreath. I'm excited to jump in here and see what we're going to get this afternoon. When you get this deep into the regular season of VRML, the matchmaking system has really done its job. The idea of the VRML system is that no matter where you are in skill, whether you're new to the game like some of these players are, brand new to this season, or you have a vast amount of experience, you are going to get put up against opponents that are of equivalent skill level. The behind-the-scenes matchmaking formula does the magic to make sure that, especially after the first 3 weeks of regular season, the matchups are more in line with your skill level, and so you have a chance to kind of gradually get better at the game as you defeat teams that are maybe slightly better than you or slightly or worse than you, and you can learn and adapt within the league itself to grow. And so I often like to see, especially these kind of battles where we have a team that's been created a season ago, at least in Season 12. I have to see how many games they've played in Season 12, but there's a little bit more experience behind the Hydra team than there is the Misfits here this afternoon. And so if you are looking at an underdog for the day here, I would say it is the Misfits going into this battle here, but both teams, again, very close in rank, and because we're 12 weeks into the season, these teams have played a lot of other teams in the regular ladder, and I expect this battle to be pretty close. At the very least, the gameplay itself will be close. We've seen disparities in score lines, but close battles, meaning that rounds come down to 1v1, but they keep going to a specific team in the end. That could be what's in store for us here this afternoon as well. But I will put my my foot down and say that I do think we're going to be in for some good quality back and forth here this afternoon. I have given the players the go-ahead, and so we should be getting into round 1 on Quarantine any moment. For those that maybe want to know a little bit more about the VRML, the regular season lasts roughly 15 weeks. It can give or take a couple of weeks, depending on if there are breaks or depending on the season. But roughly 15 weeks of regular season gameplay. Each week, the team is matched against an opposing squad that is close to them in rank in MMR. And if you win, you go up in rank. If you lose, you go down in rank. At the end of the season, we have what's called the postseason, and we take the top 7 teams from each region, and they are automatically qualified into the regional postseason. We then have a qualifier tournament where where one team qualifies into that 7 to make it 8 top teams from each region battling it out against each other. I think from there we go into a global semifinals, and then into a global finals. And so that postseason starts in, I think, middle of October. And I know that in previous broadcasts I said there'd be giveaways on starting this weekend. I got my months mixed. I was off by a month. I do apologize. Giveaways will be starting when the postseason begins in the middle of October, and so you are going to want to be tuning in to what's been dubbed really the Fall Fest of VRML, where we're going to be doing regular giveaways on our live broadcast. You're not going to want to miss that action, both Onward and Echo Arena. But we're into the action here for round 1. Enough of me battling on about how VRML works. We're here for Onward. We're here for that gunplay, the action, the strategical thinking that is required from these teams to work their way up to the respective objective. Our first OBJ of the day is going to be over at that hospital building, dubbed because of the hospital car out front. We're on board Zinru as they do rotate over, almost catch an eye out on the Panda, but it's a game of inches here as we have the eye in the sky, and Zinru cannot see Panda there over in the corner. Maybe they catch the barrel as bullets do come out, and AOK is going to be able to push up. Gets past Panda's line as Panda has to duck in from that suppressive fire. Certainly risky to be re-peeking the angle, but they are checking a different side, and they might catch Zin there if they just pop up over the top of this rock, but they're not going to see Zin there. That defilade is just barely blocking their vision.
I'm gonna let y'all deal with that.
Utilizing information there, because they checked one side, they can kind of factor out where they aren't, or factor in where they aren't, and so without shots coming at them right now, they can assume that Zinru has an angle they just can't see over on the other side of the action. Oh, I guess we do have Zinru does spot out Panda again, but another kill goes down for Madara there as we trade a double kill, make it 3 as Misfits get scooped up. Their hospital defense getting picked apart by this south approach. Takio comes barreling in. They've caught one headshot. Uh-oh, Panda has their side exposed, but they've since turned around. Robbie's the real lone defender here, trying to get rid of Takio, and they do. Kush Capone and Moderate are looking for the kill on the stairs, and they can't quite find it as they have just enough cover. Then Robbie peeks out. Kush ducks in. AOK is tablet out on the objective. They've pushed up to the OBJ and are punching in the code, and Hydra is going to take round number 1 with a cap out the gate. This team has come in to play, and what was looking like a measured start there from the Misfits defense, trying to understand and analyze the approaching offense, they end up getting completely caught off guard, and we even missed those first 2 kills because they happened in a flash over at the gas station side of things. And a very nice start again for Hydra, the perfect start for Hydra, up 2-0 out the gate. I wonder if we're maybe seeing a little bit of that experience coming into play here from a team like Hydra, but it's very early, and I think they really did deploy a quick play strategy there. Heavy smokes pushing up through the center within the first 3 minutes. That is definitely an intentional attack early. They obviously had this cap plan in mind at the start of this round. It wasn't organically that they pushed for this OBJ. It was as soon as they had the kill that they needed on the roof, the smoke started coming in, and you know, from that point the cap play was on. So a nice job from Hydra to come into this guns blazing and on their map pick nonetheless. That's certainly how you want to start things. Misfits, being the away team, will get to pick the second map, and the regular run of things here is that now Hydra will go on the defense, they will defend the objective, and the Misfits will attack it. After this round, the objective will change location and we will swap sides again, and so Hydra will go back on the attack and Misfits will go back on the defense. But for now, we go back into the action for round number 2, and the Misfits have to attack, try to rebuttal from this 2-0 start for Hydra. We're now going up on the defense themselves, and we'll see if they identify this east spawn early. Defensive setup, they go for it. Actually looks like they're not going to heavily prioritize coverage of that east side, if any, really. What it is here is a very heavy early focus, and defense at least, over at the west side. The reason is that there's this potential spawn point for the attacking team. Is randomized where the attacking team will spawn. They can spawn in the west with this objective and push forward. And so now that they haven't seen anything in the west, you did see there Madara and Zinru both kind of peeking back behind them because they are now also concerned about the east push, being aware of that potential spawn. Shots coming in from the west definitely do draw their attention away from this east side, though. And Big Mac can find shots through this window, but Madara pushes up just in time. If they come back down, might find themselves into some tough spots. But this is a hard to identify individual, and Big Mac is going to spot it. Madara goes down trying to call things out, and now the coverage over in that west side is a little lighter. Takeo is here to rebuttal it, try and reinforce this defensive wall. Oh, and the Argonauts catch one. Can they get the double? They do. A nice snag there. The rest of the Misfits not utilizing this distraction like we saw Hydra, where when that west was coming in, the rest of the team was pushing up through the center. They weren't quite ready. The three here weren't quite ready for that push. If they had just sort of tucked in behind that dune and waited, could have all pushed up through the center. Chaos could be pushing while there's a flank coming in from the back. Zinru wouldn't have spotted Chaos. Chaos does duck behind the stairs and is able to survive with some minimal cover out in the open here. Flash comes up and over. AOK is going to try and swing. Is that a nade? No, another flash. And now AOK is going to have an easy blind player. Oh my goodness, saved by Robbie on the back. Chaos survives, and Hydra are down to 3. This is a 3v3. Capone is very far away from objective. They do get picked up. If they weren't going to get picked up, it would have been a matter of killing the 2 on OBJ and then pushing towards it. Oh, a big rotation there. Takeo's going to get past Chaos Wraith. The FOV of the headsets really limiting how much they can see in Chaos with their focus down the sights. Doesn't see that rotation out over to the west side. Or excuse me, east side. South? It is quickly turned back into Misfits' favor, 3-2. Oh no, and a disconnect there from Chaos Wraith. An unfortunate happenstance. You don't want to see it, but it does happen from time to time. We're in an online space, and sometimes players will disconnect. You have to play through that disconnect, so the round will continue. These players will continue to play on as if that player had been shot. And so we're into a 2v2. Our attention now very focused on the south side. Pico almost getting ID'd by Robbie there if they had just peeked a little bit more. Yeah, with a minute and 50, they do have a pretty decent amount of time. How far they've managed to push up. Real trouble is going to be Zinru on that objective corner. Zin is going to be very focused on where they think there is a third attacker, though, because they did identify them early, and so they may have just kind of keep focusing on that. Tekyo does peek out and catches Robbie. Down they go. It's going to be up to Poggerman on the backside to get this rotation out, and Takyo's going to find the double. Hydra punch it up on defense. A powerful start in the first 2 rounds for Hydra as they go up 3-0, and a real unfortunate disconnect there for the Misfits as they were positioned to really threaten this Hydra defense. Either way, this is what I was talking about when I said we may see a scoreline that doesn't necessarily follow how close the battle has been. And, I mean, look at this. 3-0, and nearly everyone on the Misfits has kills. Hydra have all of them into Taikyo. That's crazy. 6-1 with a cap from AOK. You know, it's the game of Onward is a a cruel one sometimes, and even though you're finding kills and getting close, it's those 2v2 moments, those 1v1 moments that can really make or break a round or a series win. And Misfits can gather things together here, get their 5th back in lobby, and refocus for the defense. They do have a somewhat tough objective to defend. I've certainly seen this objective capped several times, meaning can be pushed up to. There is cover to duck behind from certain defensive angles where you can then enter in the code and be unkillable unless there's another defender somewhere else or that defender pushes you at the objective. And so, interestingly enough, it doesn't seem they got their 5th in. And so I think we are going to have to start the round, but we are going to start the round 4v5. The Misfits have the option of calling a timeout, but maybe they know something more and don't want to burn that timeout on what is a disconnect for, again, reasons maybe they understand and we don't. But either way, call out did come from the Misfits for tight defense, and so definitely going to want to stay tucked in around this defense, but I'm not necessarily seeing that call out. The defense, if anything, is pretty open. Everyone else kind of pushed out looking for kills. Robbie in particular extended forward here, tries to find Aoki on the corner, does. Madara is there as well, and they may be able to find another 44. If they're ready for the second on that corner. Did get tagged a little bit. They do get that heal off with the syringe. And the aggressive defensive setup does pay off a little bit here for an early kill. Just like that, we're back into a 4v4, and so at disadvantage, not too terrible now, but information certainly gained for the team, and we're going to jump over to Panda, who could be running into some action soon here as a duo is pushing them on the corner. Madara does catch Robbie. Panda could catch a couple here. Big Mac actually scoops up one behind Panda.
Voice on me.
Yeah, that was a nice angle there.
That's
all the way on the
here.
back side. Got to keep an eye on the objective, though, as they don't necessarily have one, and the smoke is coming out, and it's nicely placed. Madara is going to follow this up with another very good smoke. These are 2 very good smokes right now, where Madara can push up, unless they get a line on the street, but Big Mac does have. Down they go. Fogger has to push up here. Madara can push up to this smoke and enter in the code. Take this map 1-5-0. Misfits have to kind of crash around it, have to play a little bit rushed to ensure that isn't happening. And Madara does catch a kill with at least one of those defenders rotating, but you hear the call out there from Madara. They have time. 3:40 on the clock, which is a lot of time left to work with. Way Panda has tucked in. They're hearing, should be hearing, the comms from Zinru. There is that global comm presence. Poggerman goes down trying to rotate out and get aggressive.
I think...
And Panda has to cover this street, but they are...
No, if you killed one, there's two.
Interesting rotation. Hydra press this matter, they will catch themselves. Again, that chance to get the cap, but that's going to come down to Zinru. Here's Panda behind them. Or if they expect Panda to be behind them, when they hear these footsteps, they may be anticipating them to be up on the second floor in the rooms, not on the corner here. Oh, it's going to be a matter of timing. Is Panda going to get here in time? Because Zinru is looking to get around that corner. Oh, they check behind him, but as they do, Panda pops up to find the kill. Now they're going to crash back to objective, and we're into a 1v1. Misfits trying to hold on to this one here, not letting that 4v5 disadvantage hit them too hard, and now Panda is here at objective. They've effectively cleared it to make sure that nobody is currently capturing it, and so now they have a few more options in terms of where they can set up. Second floor is certainly viable. They do have a view down into the objective space unless another smoke comes in for Madara. But when you're the final defender, it is a bit of a risk to stay still. You do want to make sure that you really are covering all the nooks and crannies of that objective. Need a cap here for Hydra, however. Madara just needs to find the kill to get that final point to take this first map. Oh, and trying to utilize the flight ramp there to be able to take a quick peek and then drop off the ramp to duck back into cover. Is pushed up very close to this objective. They're not within capping range, but if they stay crouched, they can push up here and use this small curb, keep them hidden, and Panda may not see this with where they are, and Madara could punch this code in a 1v1. Panda is going to learn a lesson here when they review this footage. This is what I'm talking about. You really do have to be swarming the objective at all times. You let your eyes off it for a second, lose coverage on a small gap, and a player can prone their way forward, get within the radius of the objective they need to, and then punch in the code. And, oh my God. A little upset, and Madara shaking, trembling there, has to take a breath after securing round one, 5-0. But again, look at the KDs. 6-2 for Takio, 5-1 for Madara. Very focused on the certain players for Hydra, but very spread for Misfits. They had good KDs across the board there. No time wasted, however, to get us into our second map, which is going to be Suburbia, and one even more close quarters than Quarantine. Quarantine does have some long-range elements to it for sure, but there is not really any of that in Suburbia. You are very much in for a lot of flash. I would expect at least a lot more flashbangs here than what we saw in Quarantine, but potentially an equal amount of smokes. Wonder if the Misfits are just going to have to keep playing out. 4v5, I really would want them to have to do that. Try and get the info here. See if Misfits will pull in a fifth, or if Hydra are going to continue to have this advantage. Either way, we are going to be patiently waiting for what I hope to be the 5th to reconnect in for the Misfits, and then we will be back into the action for round number 1 of Suburbia. Do appreciate everyone that has been stopping by, whether you're on Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, or Horizon venues. We do appreciate you tuning in and enjoying the action here today. A reminder that Fall Fest begins in November with the Pavlov postseason beginning, early October. Onward postseason starting mid-October, and when we begin that regional finals portion, we will begin giveaways regularly on the weekends during that postseason action, where we'll have HyperX products like keyboards, mice, headphones, and mics that we will be giving away on stream only for the North American region. So do keep the eyes out for that. It'll be on this channel when it happens, but it'll be starting in the middle of October, not this month. I know I said that again last weekend that they would start today, but I got my got my months mixed up on the calendar, so do apologize there. Got the correct information now, though, and that, again, it does begin when that postseason begins, so you're not going to want to miss out on that postseason action, and you're going to want to tune in to catch it. Are still waiting for what I, again, hope to be the 5th to join in for the Misfits here. Beautiful thing about the VRML is that there are some systems in place to help aid teams when they are stuck in a moment like this, where if you do not have more than 5 players on your active roster, you can dip into the reservist pool. And so if you're a new player, for example, and you want to play in the league but don't want to play too heavily or practice with a team quite yet, you can join that reservist pool. And when a brand new team to the league needs to have a brand new player join their team for a match, then they can ping what is the reservist section of the Discord. You'll get a notification saying, hey, come, we need somebody to play, can anyone join? And it's kind of like a cool way to be able to pull in substitutes. But I do encourage teams to have more than 5 on their active roster, so that when they are in situations like this, they can tap into that extra player or two that they have on their roster ready and waiting to play. It has other benefits as well to have that deep roster, where you can have certain players be specifically skilled at certain maps, so you'll bring certain players in for certain maps. I don't think that's the case right now, but we are, from what I am seeing, getting the 5th in for Misfits soon, and we will be jumping in to round 1 shortly. Take a quick shout out to mixologist Kami, Wade Watts, Brianna, all stopping by. Good seeing everyone stopping by. I don't think I have any more reminders. I suppose shout-outs are in order for our sponsors this season. They include VRML, obviously contributing into the prize pool for Season 13. VR Cover, fantastic covers for any of your VR headsets to greatly enhance the comfort of them. ProTube VR, providing us with fantastic stocks for any of your VR controllers to help stabilize your aim in game so you can become a much better sniper, more effective. And Asterion, who offer great mounts for any of your VR headsets with charging ports built into them, LED mounts, so they really kind of pop on the table and fits nicely with the rest of the LED you very likely have within your computer or device at home. So I really like the one I have on my desk right here with the Quest 2, and they have a bunch of other great products as well, like VR mats, and I think they're coming out with a few new products in the near future, but I'm not supposed to talk about that. But yes, those are our sponsors for the league. They come and contribute in hardware and cash to a prize pool that these teams are ultimately competing for when we get into that postseason. And so certainly is going to be exciting when we get into that stage. I'm very much looking forward to postseason action. A lot of the high-tier teams are, quite skilled this season. And it's going to be really fun to watch the NAEU battles that will be in store for. Big shakeups in the top 10 since last season, and so a lot of new stories will be told, which I am also very excited for. So postseason going to be, again, super hype, and I know you're all waiting for this round to start, but I think I've rambled on long enough. Misfits do have 5 in lobby, and so we're going to go back into the action and see if this, I think it's a new 5th. I don't know if Milwaukee was in for Misfits, but either way, we'll see if now the Misfits are ready to go. All 5 in on the attack for round number 1 on Suburbia. Their map pick. Looking to kick things off with an early kill from the second story, and they don't quite catch it. Robbie does get one through the shrubs, though, and the on-objective defense is relatively weak. You can see AOK Hero and Kush Capone trying to push up, but Kush Capone accidentally team kills one of their own teammates now. Smokes and Utility are coming out, and the Misfits are trying to apply a very heavy push here. AOK does swing around and catches a kill, but Panda's going to find that from the second floor through the shrubs, and so we're into a 3v4 very quickly. Kush Capone found one up the middle. And now they are all rotating back to defend around objective. They have one more holding down the far south lane, and Takio's going to catch one, trying to rotate up through the middle. Hydra have the defensive advantage now as they push even farther forward, taking even a more farther aggressive defensive line here. And at this point, Takio's going for the flank. Suppressive dump from the LMG ends up getting the kill through the window, and now Robbie is alone. They do get a key kill on that side, though, do get out of the middle and that pressure from the flank, and so it is kind of a 1v2. And I do like the pause in timing. It does give Hydra time to sort of recollect themselves and get the trio properly set up to defend this objective.
No, I have 2. I'm sorry.
A lot of communication coming in from Hydra to make sure they have an accurate kill count as well. And that if they don't have an accurate kill count, that could also really throw them off. They're not just anticipating one player to be pushing here. They may end up splitting their attention more than they need to, but...
I can see through this bush right here. Is that allowed? I hope that's allowed. That's allowed.
Now, Kush Capone is looking for Robbie.
I think I just discovered a spot.
Oh no, that's an old spot.
Not going to find him through the crack, though.
I discovered it.
And Robbie is going to be able to push forward here with the P90 in hand. Or no, the AUG, excuse me. Weapon I've seen picked up more since the... Staying crouched here does keep there and limit their exposure. Kush Capone is going to push up onto Robbie. Is Robbie going to be ready for it on the corner? They do catch the kill. Madara should pop up here to get the refrag, but they don't quite. Robbie is able to rotate back, duck back into cover, get the heal off, and survive another day for now a 1v2. Cross out there. Madara not watching, staying tucked in, and so they're not going to rotation. Tycho going to spot out from this lane. Ooh, and they are really looking through the gaps there. To the same extent, Takio could potentially see movements for the gaps themselves, and they do. They'll catch the kill on the corner, and Hydra, with 2 left alive, defend. And again, that kind of theme of Misfits battling, but not getting the rounds continues. 5 points. Excuse me, 6 points. I have to update map number 1 here. But 6 points, 2 caps on map 1, and now a defensive start at the very least for them on map number 2. And again, when you look at the KDs, you see that that spread is there. You know, Hydra, and again, Takio really finding a lot of the kills. And when you look at Misfits, it's spread out a little bit. I guess Robbie had 2, Panda with 1, but nonetheless, finding kills in these battles and just not able to really lock in those final moments of the round. We swap sides, though, and so now Misfits will defend. Hydra with an opportunity to attack this objective, and I imagine we're going to see a pretty aggressive push onto this objective for what I would anticipate to be a cap attempt. With how well Hydra is playing today, there's no reason for them not to feel confident enough to go for a play like that, and so Misfits, if anything, should be ready for a heavy amount of aggression. They should be running 2 LMGs, because there's going to be a heavy amount of smoke, and they're going to need to lay consistent and constant suppressive fire through that smoke to eliminate the advantage it provides them and really just make it a death zone to go through. And so we'll have to see how they execute here and the defensive setup looks like as we go into things for round number 2 on map 2. So far, Misfits have not been able to get on the board, but see if things change now. Comes out, doesn't go far enough, but maybe is just where it needs to be as they can't identify that C4 from Hydra, and an early kill does come in through the shrubs. Another one from Big Mac Tree Man almost through the wood, but I like the reinforcement there from Zinru. As soon as they heard shots towards one of their teammates, they themselves started dumping rounds downrange. Now Takio is pushing up here, looking for an elbow, looking for a corner. Big Mac knows the danger of their position and is tucked in. The C4 has been detonated. Not going to catch out anybody on the corners. And now Robbie heavily suppressed. Takio does catch one on objective. There's a nice swing from Big Mac. They're going to look for more as they pop out onto Madara, but they then duck back down in time for reinforcement from Robbie to pop up. This is great teamwork from the Misfits defense. They pick apart this attack. Really, again, just utilizing each other as bait to then pop out and find exposed kills. Very nice job and great, again, teamwork from the Misfits squad on defense to catch those kills. Capone charging forward here. They're going to just go on the hunt out on the patio. A trade and a kill on the outside. Just like that, we're into a 1v2. A res there available for Robbie. Could turn this into a 3v1, but Poggerman, their toes might be identifiable by Kush Capone here. Fogger sees the smoke come out, and they're going to catch the kill. And the first point for the Misfits gets on the board. Took them a couple of rounds, but here they are. And again, good solid KDs from both sides, but Misfits continuing to battle up against this Hydra team. Map 2 could go into their favor if they can start putting together some good Marsoc rounds. That's going to be the real key here. This next objective is definitely attackable. Pretty hard to get captures on. Really requires a mistake to be made on the defensive side. But at this rank, those mistakes could be made. With how I've been watching, you know, from the top down, my perspective would be that Hydra, maybe a 70-30 chance that they would put a defender in a position where they could lose this objective, but they have been playing pretty good so far today. Obviously taking that first map 5-0 with 2 caps, but I don't know. We'll have to see. Let's see how the defense here looks from Hydra. Misfits do have plans for sure for this map. You know, they definitely had an intended plan of attack on that objective where they were going to send one as sort of a rogue element forward while the rest of the team on the back end suppressed and through utility, but they just didn't have enough suppression on the back end and enough distraction for that rogue player to push forward. So we'll see if they can execute properly on this push to get back into the action for round number 3 on map 2. So far, an exciting battle between these two teams, and I did see a comment in chat saying, I love seeing these new teams battling it out. I really do too. You get to see sometimes new strategies too. Veterans can learn a thing or two by tuning into a rookie matchup because these players look at the map a little bit differently sometimes. They also do certainly learn from the best, and that's a standard pre-fire angle there. Robbie on the other side is rolling forward onto the corner with Panda as well. Maybe be able to push this corner before the defense is set up, and uh-oh, those shots coming out. Definitely going to be an alert to AOK. AOK should be holding a late enough angle, though, where they're actually waiting for Robbie and Panda to push out around this APC. I'll have to see if Panda and Robbie are going to be ready for that that very deep corner, and AOK almost catches a double. Robbie is able to get the refrag.
We're 44 right now, I think.
An inaccurate kill count coming in there from, very least, Robbie, but a report to the Misfits that they're even 4v4. Let's take a look at the rest of the Hydra defense as they are set up and tucked in. Fortunate that Robbie hasn't identified Madara in this corner. Binru does get Waki trying to push up to the center, and a nice pop-up there from Madara to catch the frag. On the Pogger, man, the smoke attempt, or a flash, tried to go up and over, but couldn't quite get out there in time. Big Mac's going to find the confirm, and it's going to be up to the 2 inside, as Big Mac does catch Zinru on the bottom floor. Kush Capone is alone in the objective with Robbie and Big Mac trying to attack it. Suppressive fire coming up over the top of Kush. They can't afford to stand. Their head could be exposed. We're certainly aware of this threat, and take a look at the tablet. They're aware that they are the only defender left. Almost a team kill? Wow. Very close to a team kill there between the 2 outside, but doesn't end up working out for Kush there, so it is going to still be a 1v2. A lot of time on the clock as well. Any utility left? Big Mac tries to push up. Robbie goes down. Big Mac almost gets clipped on the ankles. And there's the push as Big Mac does find the trade. No, finds the kill, and the Misfits squeak away with a round win, but they have it nonetheless. A nice attack from the duo. And they're in the lead for the first time in the series. A rough start, but maybe now momentum that they've needed in their favor. Big Mac Tree Man playing very well here so far, 6-1. Taking a look at the folks that are enjoying the action here today and what's being said in the comments, and do appreciate the love and support. I do enjoy casting Onward as much as I think maybe people do enjoy watching it, so it works out for everyone. Works out for all of us that are involved. This is certainly an exciting battle. Again, it's a nice refresher sometimes to tune in to the middle of the ladder and see where the skill level is overall. We just actually had last weekend on this channel an absolute amazing high tier battle. I think it was on this channel. No, maybe that was earlier this week. Yeah, it was between Siren, Snails. Sorry, it wasn't on this channel. We had an amazing top-tier battle just earlier this week. Gosh, now I'm blanking if it was. Yeah, it was this week. Thursday. Anyway, there's just a lot. It's fun to watch the variety of skill that's in the VRML, depending on where you look at it in the regular season ladder. We're gonna get back into it. Enough of me
Let's get it, baby.
chatting. We want the action here in front of us as Misfits looking to get a 3rd point, looking to put up a solid defensive round here, and Hydra definitely looking to bounce back with a lot of pre-fire coming out. Nobody does go down. Utility and nades coming out over the top. Robbie catching some rounds. C4 getting thrown out by Big Mac, but not quite far enough. And Hydra are playing this one a little bit more conservatively out the gate, not charging in off of smokes. Kush does catch Poggerman trying to get aggressive down that far APC lane. Robbie goes down. On objective, defense is gone. Hydra are pushing up inside and are punching in the code. Big Mac Tree Man doesn't even realize it, and they lose 2 points in a matter of seconds. Literally seconds. Not even a full minute on the clock had ticked down as Hydra are just back in it. The caps vital for them in their process here today. It won them 5-0 on quarantine, and now it has retaken them the lead and put them back on defense for an objective that is pretty hard to attack. In my opinion, of course. We'll have to see how Misfits want to approach this, but a couple more kills for Big Mac Tree Man there as well. Not enough. And what a spread on the KDs here. Hydra really getting active with Zinru, Kush, and Tycho 4 and 5 respectively. Robbie doing work as well, 4 and 3, but everyone has kills in this round here this afternoon. Everyone getting involved in the action, and that's the kind of chaos I like to see. For those not in the know, between rounds, there's a minute and a half where teams are strategizing and hashing out their plays. They have a picture of the map on a whiteboard that they can draw on, so you can quite literally draw up your plays for the minute and a half of the timer between rounds. And so is why you have these moments where sometimes the between round timer is actually longer than the gameplay, and this is certainly one of those moments. That round was only 45 seconds. We've just had a minute and a half between it to now get us into our next round, where the Misfits have to secure round W's from here on out. A cap would get them the map win. Certainly would be nice, but it does have its risks if you try and push in for the cap, so we'll see what we get. We get into round number 5, excuse me, of map 2.
Not pre-fire here, right? I'm clipping over here a bunch of times over here.
Madara getting very aggressive on the forward push. Big Mac Tree Man is here on the corners, and they are going to look for any action up through the center. We may have to jump over to AOK before Madara finds a kill. AOK does flash out and does get counter flashed. Poggerman does blind them. There's a trade over on that side, and so Wake is going to be able to push over. They can, as Madara is calling in for the reses. A lot of utility coming in. Zinru dumping rounds as Madara is making callouts. The res could come through. Tycho catches Poggerman, and AOK continues to get aggressive. Hydra's trying to snuff out this offense, and they might just do it. There's only one left alive, and it's Robbie on the opposite side of the map with an AOK hero barreling around nearby. A lot of risk this final approach, but maybe they can capitalize on this over aggression. It is a 1v5. That's when sometimes the magic happens. There's the confirm on the Big Mac's downed body. Oh, and AOK does get scooped up. Joss, though, and the rest of the team thirsty for blood, like blood in the water. The sharks swarm, and Hydra, all three heads biting to get a piece of that final kill. They'll take map number 2, 4-2. Where do we go from here is the question. It is Hydra's map choice. And we always do play out the third map because the rounds won matter. Unfortunately, the kill-death ratio doesn't. That would have been better for the Misfits here today. But if they do play out this, when we do play out this third map, if they can manage to win it, then the Misfits will go down in rank less. Whereas if they were to lose this final map, they will go down in rank more. And so, again, those rounds won and lost do matter in determining how much you go up and down in rank in that ladder with a win or loss. And it is why we always do play out the third map, even though a series has been decided. Map 3 is going to be Downfall. We are going to get a little bit more range into the equation here this afternoon. And I'm not seeing any subs. Oftentimes, if a team does carry more than 5 active players on their roster, then they will bring in the players that haven't played in the series if you have kind of a guaranteed win. The point I just made, some teams really do value every point they can get, and so instead they would rather keep the 5 that they have, guarantee that they are ready to go for the final map so that they can get that win. And so, again, not seeing subs from either side. Whether that means they have them or not is not even a matter of questioning now. Is wait for map number 3 to kick off here. First OBJ of the evening on Downfall is going to take us over to a rather chaotic one. Seen it capped a couple of times this season on venues, no less. So it'd be interesting to see how a team like Hydra, who's displayed very quick attack strategies on offense, will be pushing this objective. If they have that quick spawn in particular, it offers them an opportunity to really be very close to the objective, pushing it with with a lot of coverage from your opposing defense, and get just a building away from the objective out of your spawn. And so we'll have to see if Misfits are guarding for that out the gate, or if Hydra do manage to get that one. I actually don't think. Yeah, it's not even. I think it's this objective. Either way, they get a different quick spawn. They spawn on the other side of the map there, over onto the east. And so I'm curious to see how Hydra want to push this out the gate as we go into round number 1 of map 3.
Get the one for White House.
The one White House?
The one up right around this corner up here. They can get there before we can.
Oh my goodness, Madara is going to kick things off for Hydra nicely. We're going to stay on board here as Panda could be checking soon. And we have to get over to Takio, who catches a sniper shot. Misfits are down too early, trying to get set up into defensive positions. And because of this spawn point, Hydra is able to find and catch out rotating defenders. Zinru gets a little bit overzealous maybe as Panda gets picked up from a great over-the-top shoulder shot there from Madara. Nice reinforcements. We've seen that all day. As soon as shots come in onto one of their teammates, they're reinforced. There's finally a pickup from Mwake. I'm staying on board Zin as they could push up for this cap. Takio catches Robbie, and it is going to come down to Mwake, who is on objective but alone in their efforts. Okay, has eyes. Down onto this objective side. I wonder if that cap attempt is going to come through, and they do have the opportunity. Maybe they don't have an accurate kill count, though, and that is what's preventing them from pushing it. Then does confirm Robbie, though. Rotate back and tuck back in behind cover here. Okay, gonna see that and call it out to the rest of the team. Zin could push up and cap if they can suppress this, and Zin's just gonna take the headshot. Hydra's gonna take the Marsoc round by eliminating the opposing team, and they will get that 1 point into the books. Early lead. That's how all of the map wins have started for Hydra. No matter where they're starting on defense or offense, they have taken round 1. We swap sides though now, and Misfits have their chance at attacking. They can get the mirrored spawn points as well. A reminder that tomorrow afternoon, 12 p.m. PST, there is a very good matchup in store. It's going to be broadcast live on this channel. I have it right. It is going to be the boss fight. It is going to be boss fight versus the newbies. That is a highly anticipated EU matchup. Folks are excited to get into. Boss fight, a master team 3rd in that EU ladder, and the newbies 5th. Those are definitely teams familiar with each other, so going to be some very good back and forth that I'm looking forward to diving into. And that'll be live at, again, 12 p.m. PST right here on twitch.tv/VRMasterLeague, but also on Facebook, YouTube, and Horizon venues. So you can catch it wherever your heart desires. We're there. Enough time has passed for the strategies to be formulated for us to go back into it for round number 2 on map 3. And not mirrored spawns. Instead, Misfits are going to be going up into the far north. We'll have to see if they hunt out any early rotations on defense. You can catch out early kills by pushing up onto the 2nd floor, peeking out this window, and looking for anyone pushing up into White House. Not the case, though, for Misfits here, and instead they do take early shots as they sprint down the hill. Not going to connect, though, and that's going to give away their spawn points. So now Hydra can rotate accordingly, knowing where this team is pushing and knowing how far they can get in a certain amount of time. I like the offensive smoke, trying to deny vision as they push up. But Misfits with 5 alive here could be vulnerable. Takio from the 2-story window catches a double.
I got -2.
Quite a start for the Hydra defensive round. Not what Misfits were looking for, I'll tell you that. They'd like the teamwork play up to the center, but from there they just ended up getting caught out. Maybe forgetting that there's a potential threat there from that side. Either way, it ends up costing them. And it's a lesson learned for sure.
Someone cross the lower red. My aim is ass.
Alright, you'll hear one shot from Takeo and he'll be dead.
-1. Why did you?
Panda does go down. Takio, as if trying to make his teammates look good. Catches a kill on call. Very close battle here as Kush almost has an angle on the Mwake from this corner, but Mwake understands where these bullets are coming from, knows the threat. And Pogura does get one. Misfits pushing up to the objective, and they do get behind the wall here. There's 4 left alive for Hydra. AOK is getting aggressive trying to push Milwaukee. They may have an inaccurate kill count. Now they certainly don't, though, as Kush Capone goes down. AOK seems to think it's round over, but it is not, and their on-objective defense is relatively limited. Big moment for Poggerman to work up here. Tycho doesn't see this push. We got to keep an eye on AOK. They seemingly T-pose their way up here. opens in, almost IDs Pogger. The stealth route's the best route at this stage. There's so many alive. Kills are going to be tough. AOK is here. Pogger tries to get Tablet out. AOK almost misses the shots there. But they catch it, and Hydra just barely defend, almost sneaking through the cracks in the coverage, but not quite. That would have been a nice way to get back into the swing of things for the Misfits on this map, but just wasn't in the cards. So Hydra have a 2-0 lead. They'll go on to the attack for our next objective. Take us over to the Black Hawk. Or downed helicopter. And can Hydra secure a cap here is the question. We have seen some mistakes in defensive coverage from the Misfits, which have opened up these opportunities for Hydra, but this one in particular is tough to get to. The best route, I think, would be for them to send at least one or two into the north crater. If they can sneak by relatively undetected, then there's an opportunity to push down the street all the way up to the objective wall, where you do have cover to crouch and cap. The other option is pushing in out in the open on this hill to get to the objective, and that has obvious risks. You can't obviously put smokes, but smokes aren't walls, and they don't block bullets, so good defense would put a couple of rounds into a smoke to shut those caps down, but we've seen plenty of caps in smoke, so sometimes you miss. Either way, we go back into it, and Hydra do get the north spawn. We'll have to see how they use it as we go into round number 3 on map number 3. Wow, really playing with fire there. Could have team killed if they had that knife out a second longer, but maybe that's the thrill of it. By the way, Hydra do get this quick spawn, and there's not a whole lot of coverage on the north side. This is perfect. This is the exact strategy Hydra need to push up here. Look at how heavy they're setting up the defense on the south. You can see a deep rotation to get up onto that far southeast ridge. An incredible risk. Okay, goes down. Pogger catches one. Big Mac scoops up another. Kush getting sniped. Madara almost goes down, and on the flank, his shot's coming in from Iwake, who does get the kill. Quick refrag from Takio, though, shores things up on the flank. And we're still battling it out as there's a trade. And Misfits have 3 to the 1 left alive for Hydra on the back line, and Misfits doing a good job of shutting Hydra down and getting what could be one on the board. A 1v3 isn't insurmountable. And Tycho in particular has found a lot of the kills this afternoon. Five and 1 right now. I've just identified a rotation there from Capone. Robbie. Oh, almost does get Big Mac. And there they see the rotation from Robbie. Any more heads? Robbie thinking about peeking the corner. Does seem to see Takio on the corner and takes the shots. Doesn't quite connect, though. Tried to battle the sniper in 3/4 coverage. Couldn't quite win. Same thing's going to happen again on the roof. Takio's going to take the challenge. Wonder if there's going to go for the res. Could be able to get across for it. Yeah, and then Takio can't quite connect there, so the res should come through. Should be back into a 3-1. 2.5 left. Oh, and Takio, nicely reading this rotation, does quickly catch that res and find the kill. Oh, and they get Big Mac. This is a 1v1. A absolute sniper battle. Is Takio going to take this challenge, as they do have rounds zipping over their head? They don't feel seemingly too comfortable on that corner anymore. Oh no! Oh wow. Oh wow, I thought Takeo was disconnected there for a second. Ooh, Big Mac Tree Man is resable, so they can actually call out what they see, but they shouldn't be seeing any of this. Minute 30, and Takeo knows they have to push. A cap gets them the map win, so I gotta wonder if there's a route here for Takeo to cross. Panda seems to be dialed in onto this side. And I do wonder if Takeo is out of ammo, because they have scooped up an AR with a fresh mag in it. Big Mac is able to call out if the cap is coming as well, so it's not going to be Takeo to sneak up there and punch in the... out, and the rotation comes in from... Panda might get the res on the Big Mac here. Yeah, they do get over there in time. Oh, Big Mac's out in the open. Do they spot Takeo on the wall there? They did, and they're going to catch the kill. Misfits do take a round. Moment to take a gander at the KDs. Again, Takeo really doing well to try and get Hydra that round 3, but couldn't quite lock it in. 6-2 overall. Look at the overall score line in the afternoon. The total points amounting to 11-3. So Hydra really playing well here. I saw in the comments Hydra may be positioned to go up into the gold rank after this. So from silver into gold, really again climbing that ladder. The end goal for any team is to get up into that top 8 for the postseason. But really, if you're not going to get up into the top 8, it's important to still try and get as high as you can in that ladder, because next season you will be positioned somewhere close to where you ended in this previous season. So there is value to trying to achieve the highest rank possible over the course of a season. And especially as a new squad, Hydra, obviously not necessarily brand new, but new to season 12. This is only their second season, if not their first full season, and so they definitely do want to do the best they can here in these final weeks of season 13. So they really are looking good, and let's see if they can put up a defensive round now. We do get back into it. Map 3.
Two clicks for Valley, 3 clicks for where we spawned at last time.
between third and.
Tycho
There's one
catches
tower.
one out the gate with the sniper. Big Mac trying to dump rounds down from the top, trying to get rid of that sniper on the back, and it's Tycho back there, and Tycho wins the trade. They're going to find the kill on the high hill. That's 2 for them. Make it 8 in total. There's another. Make it 9. Looking for 10 if they can catch the second defender in the ravine. Don't get to see down that scope, but they are definitely getting a good eye, good look down into that ravine. They're going to see that red. Shots do come in, and they do manage to finish off Panda, trying to push back from getting resurrected, but Tycho here on the outside does find that kill. Well, it's Robbie working their way up to the objective. Is there any hope? I don't think so. King should have that view over the top, as should Madara. But if we go by Onward timing, there may be a moment where coverage isn't quite there. Especially this early in the round. With such a big advantage, you would not expect there to be a player really so close to your objective. There's a clear route for Robbie here if Zen isn't watching what is going to be that final approach for Robbie. Comes down to Pogger drawing enough attention and the right attention, and Zen does hear the footsteps of a close by player. Flash comes out, blinds Robbie. Madara does have a line, and they're going to find it as more the whole team really focusing in. Good call-outs there. That's the value of communication in a game like Onward. Hydra now have 5 to the 1 of Pongerman trying to salvage this round. Trying to get rid of Tycho up there on the top. Tycho unkillable as they sniper. 10 and 2. They hit double digits here. And I think Misfits have maybe learned that they do not want to go up into the long-range maps against Hydra, because they have a designated sniper. And that is really something you do want to have on your team if you do want to be a well-rounded squad. That sniper also has to be good at close quarters rounds, but you could potentially have that unique, that if they're not, have them just be the person you bring in for long-range maps, which brings back to that sub-discussion. Regardless. A powerful element for this Hydra team, and they go up 3-1 now. Objectives change location, and Hydra swaps sides. They'll be going on to the attack. Wonder if they're going to be going for the cap. This is certainly an objective I've seen captured multiple times. I think the one thing that we're not seeing here, as I do look back at the replay there, is that kind of counter sniping from the Misfits. I don't know that they're bringing that 12 times, and if they are, that's been eliminated before it can be effective, as Tycho really has just been able to sort of free reign on the sniping. We did obviously see battles between snipers and ARs, but not that 12 times v 12 times. That can be exciting to tune into, but regardless, maybe we'll see one come up here for Misfits, or if we don't, they have to do something to battle back against the sniper. For Hydra, as they do get the quick spawn for this objective, they're going to be able to fly up and be right up into the face of their opposing team. This is a cap opportunity if they do decide to seize it.
Wish you good luck in that.
Wow.
You got White House, he has -1.
Keiko absolutely dominating here. Really good shooting from them. Sniping is not easy in this game, and they are making it look like it's a sure thing as this team continues to push on with that pressure of the Overwatch. Really kind of limits the team's flexibility and ability to properly watch windows and objectives. Big Mac can't even bother to be on objective here. Madara finds another. Misfits are getting picked apart, not just by Tycho here, the entire team coming alive. And I do think a cap attempt is going to be in order here. AOK should be pushing forward soon enough as the smokes come in to support them. Panda doesn't have an eye on, and Big Mac tries to swing. AOK's here. Panda does find the kill. Tycho looking for the refrag, doesn't quite take it in time, and Zin's now going to push up for the cap attempt. Panda has to get aggressive. They can't continue to sit back and actually defend this. They have to push up
Fuck this shit, I'm out.
and die. Because now there's two punching in the code, and Hydra are going to take this 5-1 for map 3. Again, I've only seen 14 so often, but for some reason now twice in the last 2 weeks. So 14-3. Coming in one more point on Suburbia, and they would have maxed out the points they could earn in a series. That's just an impressive performance from the Hydra team. Again, Misfits battled even on Downfall, their final map, putting up close KDs, but 7-2 for Madara and 11-2 for Tycho. Two standout shooters for Hydra, really doing a lot of the legwork. Obviously, the supporting ensemble also important in terms of communication and relaying information, but yeah. Just a good performance from the Hydra team today. Definitely looking to see how they develop in these final weeks of Season 13, but also how they shake up going forward into that postseason in Season 14. So, yeah, exciting Onward action tonight, but that is going to be it for me here this afternoon. Again, tune in tomorrow, 12 p.m. PST, for a very high-tier EU matchup, ranked 3 versus ranked 5 worldwide. You're not going to want to miss that. But until then, my name's Ben Nightfire with 2 E's. Stay classy.